welcome back to She Is Me podcast. I am Simone,
And I'm Nisha.
and today we are going to be talking about our first time. Take that
Yeah,
as
go
you
straight into
will.
it. Oh, you just go. My bad. Jump right.
Again.
I'm about to. First, let's ask them how they doing.
We're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Oh,
I
okay,
was just talking to them about what our conversation will be about today.
Do y'all remember your first time?
Ooh, okay, before we jump into that, we're going to talk about how we're feeling. So we're going to ask each other, how are you?
Child, I actually got a cold, so I'm doing good emotionally, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But physically, I'm been a little down because I've been tired from working, and just my little cold, and that time you feel me? Mother Nature's knocking on my door. She's here. She's the beast too. But other than that, I think I've been alright emotionally.
Good.
How you been? How are you?
I'm like this. Hey. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's a lot going on, but I'm okay. I think that I'm at a place to where I can, still be okay, still emotionally be fine. Handle my emotions just fine. It's not the end of the world, so I'm good.
That's good.
I'm good.
Yeah. And that's a big part of it though, like knowing that you can get
through it.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right,
Yes,
guys. So, how are you?
Right.
Let's take a moment. Let's pause. Click. Pause. Tell us how you feeling.
All right. Okay, so boom. I think, and I'm happy about this conversation though because I think it's like almost like a taboo in our community. Like we don't like talking about our first time or like how it happened. What were you feeling? It just happened and then we just act like it never happened again.
Yeah.
So I guess let me ask this. Did your first time play out the way that you thought your first time would play out?
No. Not at all. From how it happened, where it happened, who it happened with.
Yeah.
I don't think you plan your first time, but like the situation, it wasn't what I expected or like none of that. Nothing at all. So I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't bad. Mine was bad, okay? It just wasn't expected. Yeah. Then like after it was like, oh, that really just happened.
Right.
Like
yeah.
Here now. We are here. I didn't y'all. She made me do it.
I think it's a conversation though. Okay.
It is.
So what was like your emotions that you were feeling like? Okay, pre to you losing your first time. In your household, were there conversations about sex? Did you talk to your parents about what was going to happen, how it was going to happen?
No, and I just talked to my mom and my mom and my sister was just talking about this like maybe a couple weeks ago to a month ago about this. So growing up in our household, like, it wasn't really talked about like at all. Like when I learned about sex, it was from my friends and school. Like, this is funny. It's not funny, but it's funny because until I was 16 years old, and that's old. That's old. I just thought that they rub on each other. I didn't know that it had to go into like you had it. That's bad. I didn't know that you had to like insert.
That's kind of how like bumblebees have sex. They just rub.
Yeah, they just rub. Yeah. So before like 15, 16, I didn't know. I just thought you rub it on each other instead of actual intercourse. They go inside, but I didn't learn about a lot of stuff until my friends talked to me about it. My parents, we really didn't have a conversation with like the whole sex conversation. So
do you think that kind of affected you, like how you would?
Absolutely. I think maybe being I wouldn't say more prepared, but like in our household, it was just don't have sex till marriage. It wasn't like,
okay, if you feeling this way, how do you
handle it, or what can you do, or like using protection. Like even now, I think they mindset is still like, just don't have sex till married. I'm not gonna tell my kid, well, use this or use protection. I'm gonna just tell them,
just wait till marriage. But the thing with that is like, okay, when you get to marriage, you still don't know how to navigate it. You don't know how to express yourself sexually if you don't.
Yeah. You know? So like when I did have a conversation with my mom, she like, I think I probably should have did differently with you guys. She apologized about it because that's big. Right. That's big. With any teenager, they're gonna have questions about it because not only are you starting to feel more hormones and you starting to like change, like things in your body is changing, but also you around kids nowadays, they're a lot faster. They're a lot faster than what we were. Yes, absolutely. A whole lot. Because the fact that they being fast was like almost like, oh my gosh, they're fast, they're there. You know? But now it's like it's just there. It's just they all the time. Yeah. And what was I saying? No, you were saying that that your mom had apologized for not talking to you about it because you were feeling different hormones as you go into teenage years. And then like being around friends and stuff too, they are, a lot of them are doing this. So with me being a late bloomer, or not even a late bloomer, I wouldn't even call it that, but with me not being experienced or not having no talks about it or not knowing anything about it, hearing some of the stuff, I was like, all of that? You what? God. What? So I mean, I think it's important definitely to have a conversation for sure. Because when I'm not gonna lie, I don't think me and my mom ever had like the official like sex conversation. Like, this is how it happened. This is what you do. This is, but like my mom wasn't like super duper strict. Yeah. So I had a little bit more freedom to like feel things out, like how do like, you know, I just had a little bit more freedom to like figure it out. So I think that's why like in my head, even though I had the freedom to do so, I always knew that I wanted my first time to be with somebody that respected me, that cared about me, that genuinely liked me, not just because I always heard the you know that Life Gen song "Sex." My mom used to play that for me and my sister all the time. Like, listen to the words, and I listened to it and I got older. I'm like, okay, I'm not going with no boy that just think I'm cute or just want to get with me. I'm gonna go to the guy that like respect me, that like me. So I kind of knew like how I wanted it to play out. Yeah. But it didn't necessarily go like, I based it the first time off of Love and Basketball. You know that scene with Omar Epps' name right there? And it was real cute, and he was real gentle with her, and they would look each other eyes, and it was real cute. Okay, let's get into it. It did not happen that way. My first time was at the guy I was dating. Okay, let me start again. My first time was with somebody that I grew up with, that I met since I was 9 years old. And I knew I was going to give it to him before we even got together. Before he was ever my boyfriend, he was my friend. I'm talking about my friend. And I always said, if we don't get together, because I never had that thought in my mind until that we did get together. But I said I'm going to ask him to take it, because I knew he would respect me enough to, even if we never did nothing else, if I wanted to get it out the way, I could do it with him, and he wouldn't even look at me differently. He wouldn't treat me differently. He wouldn't disrespect me like, oh, I got the, you know, and now I can. He would never do that. He never did, ever. Like, this man has never, ever treated me no differently. So I knew the person, but the way it played out, babe, no, it did not go good. So, okay, what, is it a horror story? It is a horror story. Like, okay, so what, emotionally, I was ready. I was the last of all my friends to have sex. Okay. And I was hearing them talk about it, and I'm like, let's see, but I want to see what's that like. Like, I want to. And I even, we was together, and I asked him, I'm like, I'm ready. He like, you sure? I said, I'm ready. He like, Nisha, no.
Nene, because that's what they call me. Are you sure? I'm like, yes, I want to do it. Like, it was 2 weeks before my 18th birthday. I'm like, I want to do it. He kept asking me, because he knew, like, I was a good girl for the majority of my life. So he like, are you sure? Is you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm ready. Like, my hormones were through the roof. I'm feeling things that I want. I don't want to keep dry humping. I want to do stuff. So we did it. It was at his friend's house on the couch. And the position I was in, I shouldn't have been in because, like most women, they lay on their backs. My back was up, but my leg, okay, I'm sitting up like this, but my legs is up. So I'm kind of like standing missionary. He's standing up, my legs is up, but my back is still kind of like that. I should have been laying down because this is my first time. So you're breaking my height. That, the pain. Ladies, girls, if you're a virgin, do not ever lose your virginity in that position because the pain that I felt, I feel like I was getting ripped apart. Like,
okay, so in the moment, did you communicate? Because I know you said like this was a person that you felt like he was comfortable with. Did you communicate to him like, ow?
Yes, I was like, this hurts. Ouch. She's like, ow, I know you. Maybe you were working because he already had sex, and he's like, I know, my bad. And he just kept apologizing to me, but like I don't think he knew like how to stop the pain.
Yeah,
and I didn't think neither one of us realized that my position was probably bad too. Like I probably could have did things differently, but like he was really gentle with me. Like it wasn't like sorry, it wasn't Pound Town. It was not Pound Town.
sorry, y'all.
It was Pound Town. It was like it was a slow motion, but it hurt so bad. Like, I didn't have sex for like a minute after that. It hurt so bad. I was like, this is not fun. I don't like this. I don't want to.
I thought it was gonna be
no things.
So after this, like, did you tell your parents or like how did that
I didn't tell my mom for like a year, but we were still like doing it like within that year. But I wasn't afraid at all.
Yeah.
I actually ended up getting tricked. Not tricked, but like I told my mom because my mom questioned my big sister. Mm-hmm. And she was terrified. I told my mom that she was having sex. And I said, if you tell her, I'll tell her, like, if you say, you know, what's going on.
We'll go down together.
Right. And I was like, I will go first. Like, I'll tell her because at this point, I've always kind of had the idea, like, okay, what you gonna do? It happened. So, like, I never lied. Like, I never was scared to tell my mom or stuff, like, what happened? It's like, okay, you can't take it back, so what?
Right.
We're here. Like, I did it already. So I was like, I'll tell her. And she was like, she freaked out. She's like, no, I'm not ready. But my mom, she did respond to me. She was like, you had sex? And I was like, yeah, I did. And she was just like, what such and such? I said, she was like, okay, well, at least it was him. Like, she even said, like, at least it was him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
See,
You didn't
am I? Oh, no. After, I never told my parents.
It just come out.
I never told my parents. Even like, never told my parents. The person that I was with for a long time, we ended up breaking up, and then in between, like in between break, after we broke up, because we didn't get back together for a minute, but in between then, I ended up with somebody else, and I lost it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Never once did I tell parents. Never knew. Did they? Sorry, guys, you know now, but yeah, we're adults. We're adults now. They're just not right now. Mm-hmm. I never told my parents, but I don't think I had that to where I could tell my parents, and I would be like, oh, absolutely. They would not have responded like how your mom responded. They would have been like, oh, no. Even though I was, 20?
You was 20 years old when you lost your virginity?
Almost. Mm-hmm.
You I'm going there, girl.
Yeah, I was almost 20 when I lost mine. So it wasn't like you gonna get a whooping. But it's just like sometimes the way your parents can react to certain things.
You're scared to talk to them about it.
Yeah, I was not gonna talk to them about that. Right. So I don't think I'm pretty sure like after a while they knew that I was sexually active, when maybe or once I got pregnant, they definitely knew that I was pregnant.
Well, then happy Jesus. Something happened here.
It was just never a conversation that happened. Like I told my sisters. My sisters knew. They knew maybe like a week or two after it happened. Like they definitely knew, but it was just like the comfortability with my parents. They never talked to them about it. I feel like it would have been nice to talk to them about that because, you know, I don't know. Would I have been embarrassed about that? Might have been a little embarrassed, which I shouldn't be. Yeah. But I don't know. Sometimes kids, they just want to be able to talk to their parents. Right. Yeah, vent, talk to their parents, and then hear what you should do. Yeah, like advice on certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like for my girls, I want them to be like, Mom, I'm ready. I'm ready. Before they even do it. Right. I want you to be able to come and talk to me like, hey, what happens then? Or like, what I think that I'm feeling these type. I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like this. I want them to be able to come and talk to me and tell me, I think I'm ready to do this. What should I do about it? Or how should I go about handling it? How should I go about handling my hormones, my emotions, what I'm feeling right now? What can I do?
Because I'm not gonna lie, growing up, my mom used to let us have boys over. Like, you know, people like, no boys over. Y'all can't. Everybody like coming to my house because my mom, friends, parents that didn't know that boys were at my house. But my mom,
my parents are they're not even.
Ooh.
But I really didn't really have nobody coming.
No, but you know that boys were we would go to the park or hang out and they'd come over to my house. We would be out on my porch in the summer till like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, hanging out, listening to music. Because my mom always said, if y'all gonna do something,
I can't do it around me.
Right, because I can't stop y'all if y'all gonna do it. Right. But at least I got eyes on y'all. Right. Where y'all around boys. What y'all do. Because it's gonna happen. Right. It's inevitable. We're gonna be around boys. So my mom let us explore that, but we didn't. I wasn't like,
disrespectful with it.
Right.
Just doing anything. No.
Right. Yeah. It was never like we was fat.
We was being kids.
Right.
We still being kids. Yeah.
We were being kids. We might have flirted a little bit because we had our little boyfriends or whatever, or we might have just, but it wasn't fast. It wasn't freaky. We wasn't doing little nasty stuff. We were just hanging out with boys. So it definitely made me a little bit more comfortable. Like when I told my mom, it wasn't like doomsday for me. It was like, okay, it finally happened. And even then she was like, okay, well, what have you done? What haven't you done? Okay, if you do this, it's probably how you should move like that. But because it was the person, I think she felt even more comfortable because it wasn't just like no random boy. Yeah. It was like, I watched this little boy grow up too. Yeah. So I know y'all. Right. And I know he's going to respect you and not going, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's not going to do you bad. Right. He never did. Never disrespected me ever. Shout out to you if you watch. But he never did me bad. So I think in regards to like your daughters want to come to you, I think just not have, because I think parents sometimes want to have that super strong, strict hold on your kids. I think when you give them a little wiggle room to spread your wings a little bit, I'm going to feel comfortable to come to you because I know you're not going to nail me to the cross because I'm feeling this way or I'm doing certain things, or it's like, I'm afraid to talk to you. Like, it should be fear. Yeah. It should be more like, I respect you as my parent. I respect you as the authoritative of the household, but I'm human. Right. You went through it. Hello, I got here somehow.
I want them to feel like I'm their parent. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. So I don't want you coming to me like, yeah, girl, da-da-da-da. Right. I want you to come to me as your parent, but I want you to be comfortable coming to me to where I don't have like this image on you to where it's like, oh, well, if I go to my parents, then what they gonna say or how they gonna feel like they gotta walk on eggshells. Right. I don't want them to feel like that.
And I know like that's the saying that we go like you're not your kid's friend, but I think in a way, yes, you are their parent, but I think a friendship has to be developed though, because it's like I'm telling you right from wrong, I'm guiding you, I'm doing these things, but like I think the word makes it I think hearing friendship with your kid make it seem like I'm not being what I need to be, but the relationship is a friendship.
That's what I was gonna say. I think instead of saying like a friendship, I would just say a relationship. To where you have a relationship with your kids, to where they are comfortable with talking to you about whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Being able to communicate with you, like, hey, this is going on, and I feel like this. Right. I don't know how to go about doing it. Maybe I would like some advice. Even if I don't want to hear what you got to say, right, I'm still gonna respect what you have to say. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's, I mean, I ain't gonna say you gotta hang out with your kids. Cause I say that now because like now that I'm grown, my mom always, girl. Man, what? All my life, I'm not your little friend. I'm not your little friend. I'm not your little friend. Now you want to be my little friend? We're not friends. Okay.
Remember that Marie wasn't friends?
No, I mean now I am getting more comfortable like talking to her about certain things. Yeah, I wouldn't have when I was a teenager, but I think the dynamic is hilarious. Like when people grow up, like your relationship with your parents definitely changed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I think my first time probably was the best for me.
I don't regret it. It wasn't bad. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't a bad experience. I just didn't expect for going in that day. I didn't think that.
I might played out. Did yours play out the way like okay? Because you know, like I based mine off loving basketball, like the way it was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be romantic and emotional and beautiful.
It was just like. It was chill, like it just happened. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't nothing that was planned. It wasn't anything that like we had talked about. It was just like
organically
it just happened. And like after it happened, like we were still cool. Mm-hmm. We still dealt with each other after that. Like probably dealt with each other for a decent amount of time after that, and like. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable in any way. He didn't like. He was respectful. Right. You know what I mean? Like, okay, do you need anything? But other than that, it wasn't a terrible experience. Mm-hmm. It just didn't go how I thought it would have went. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, especially with me being with someone for so long, I thought that was going to be the person that I lost it to. It didn't happen that way, but I mean, that's life. Right. Do you think that, like, you would change anything from your first experience?
The only thing I would change was how we did it.
Yeah. Okay, so we had our little stories about our first time with having sex. So how was your first time with, like, your cycle, your first menstrual? How was your first time with that?
Honestly, I have a horror story with my first.
Everything a horror story? Oh,
okay, let me tell you what happened.
What happened was?
Boom, this is what happened. Okay. I started my period. I was 13. And I was at school. Mm-hmm. And I started my period. And I went home that day. I told two girls that I was close to. I won't say their names. But two girls that I considered my close friends, mm-hmm. I told them. One girl was really, really supportive, checked on me that day, made sure I was good, gave me some advice on how I should, handle my periods and what's going to come and how I should feel, stuff like that. The other girl, who I consider my friend, ended up telling the rest of the girls in the class. So when I came back to school the next day, all the girls, almost everybody was singing, "You're a really big kid now." I swear to God. And I was like, and then they was like, "Yeah, we heard you got your period. You're a big kid." I mean, the whole day. And I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And she's laughing with them. Like, it's funny. And I'm like, granted, it's probably not the end of the world. But it's my first period. Yeah. My emotions. Because your hormone, you don't understand. Like, the hormone that comes with your period is like, you don't know how to really handle them yet. Like, you're so young already mentally.
Right.
So, you add the emotional aspect. I was like, that shit hurt my feelings to the T. Because I'm already on my period. Right. So I'm emotional. Aww. I was like, you funky bitch. You raggedy heifer.
That's your sensor.
Sorry. But yeah. So, that's what happened with me. And then on top of all of that, because I'm already emotional, mm-hmm. I'm telling my mom, like, I started my period or whatever. And I don't blame her for this or fault her because, you know, maybe it did slip her mind. But she's telling me like she had to talk with me about my periods and stuff like that. I'm like, Mom, you never talked to me about my periods, like what I should do, how to handle certain things. Like I'm asking her questions. She's like, you acting like we ain't had this talk before. I'm like, Mom, we never had this talk. And she's like, yes, I like she. You know how you can't tell your mom that she's a liar or that she's wrong or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, Mom, you never had this talk with me. And I'm like, maybe you had it with Sandra or like my sister. Like maybe y'all had that talk, but I can't recall ever having the talk of what's coming, how to handle it, what should I use, what should I do, what's what. And she got upset and she was like, stop talking to me like cause you calling me a liar and I'm telling you that I did. I'm like,
so now you really emotional.
but I was a cry. I'm a Cancer too, so I know people don't believe in astrology, but Cancers are already known to be overly sensitive. Baby, I cried.
And that there made me cry. All night.
Bro, I cried that whole week. Cause I'm like, why I keep bleeding? It won't stop. It's nasty. Ooh, am I hurting? I cried that whole week. It was not an experience. It was very uncomfortable. But I mean, it was a bad experience. It could have been worse because, you know, it wasn't like horrendous, but it was definitely something I wouldn't have wanted to go through.
Yeah.
Especially at 13.
Right. Now that, if you could change it, you would definitely change how that happened.
I would have told certain people. Right. And I probably would have Googled instead of telling my mom. Because my mom, like, I know she didn't mean no harm, but like, it still hurt my feelings at the time because I'm arguing with this person that's supposed to be my friend, telling everybody, get picked on at school, not gotta come home. So you yelling at me. Yeah. Accusing me of calling you a liar, and I'm just telling you, Mom, I didn't do nothing. Like, it was too much for me. Yeah. But yeah, that was but I will say, like, when it comes to like your first menstruation, like I do wish more people in society like understood like women's body are going through such a tremendous change when you get your period. Like
normalize it.
Yeah, like
and talk about it.
Because I feel like people just think, oh, you're a woman, that's just how it happens.
You're supposed to feel like this. Or even if you do, you used to it, so
right. You're just cramping.
You're just cramping. Let me tell you something. I'll take your head off right now. I'll whoop your head, boy.
Baby, that pain?
I'll whoop your head, boy.
And it's like, and I don't think people realize your period is a miniature childbirth. Mm-hmm. Contractions are cramps. I am contraction. Do you not know what they be? The screams during childbirth, how they be feeling? I'm supposed to do that right now.
Right here, right now.
Like what? That is not. It is not that. But was your first period, you know, a walk in the park or was it like?
Absolutely not. So with my first time, okay, so I started. Was I at school when I started? Yes. So I started and I was at school. And after school, I went to school with my cousins and stuff. So either my mom would pick all of us up or my aunt would pick all of us up. Mm-hmm. So my aunt picked us up that day and we went back to my nana house. So we went back to my nana house and we just playing with our friends. And my friends lived directly across the street from my nana, like diagonal, and we was in their backyard. But our friends was boys. Oh. Our friends was boys. But we at that time, like we was just friends. Like right. We wasn't on none of that. Mm-hmm. So we got our friend house, and then I went back to my nana house, and I went in the house. My mom had came, and I was like, "Hi, Mom." And after I went to the bathroom. After I went to the bathroom, I was in there changing or whatever. And y'all, I did not use like no sanitary napkins. No, I didn't use pads or tampons. What I did was, this is terrible. What I did was I rolled me up some toilet paper. And I just put it in my panties. I know. Bear with me. So when I went to the bathroom, I was like swapping everything out rolling up some more toilet paper. My mom knocked on the door. She came in the door. She like, Simone, what's going on? I said, nothing. She like, girl, turn around. It looked like you got a diaper on. The stuff was I can't even describe it. Basically, to her, it looked like I had a diaper on from me wearing it. Yeah. So she like, why didn't you just like, you could have called the nurse and had them call me and tell me about it or whatever. You don't walk around. You're not supposed to walk around like this. Let's get you together.
Right.
So after that happened, she ended up like teaching me how to do everything. But like my first experience was like, all right, let me just figure out how to do it.
Let me just roll
this up. Yeah. Roll to that. Let me just roll this up, put this on to here, and then we're going to call it a day, see how it goes. Oh, no. That is not how you go about doing it. But, like, I think, like, I will probably handle it. I would have handled it differently. Mm-hmm. But then again, I wasn't talked about. Right. The first, you know, like my first cycle that I would have. Right. I didn't have that conversation with my mom. Yeah. So, like, had I kind of been a little prepared, I would have known, like, okay, this is what's going on. So, this is how I should handle it. Like, maybe give her a call or let the teacher know. Right. Go talk to the school nurse. Something. Maybe tell my aunt when she come pick me up. Baby, I hear it from everybody. Nobody knew. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew. But I probably would have handled it differently had I kind of knew what was going on or had a little bit of background, talked about it a little bit, been a little prepared.
I think that sometimes it's like almost an afterthought, like it's just gonna happen, so you don't even think to acknowledge it. Yeah, but it's like, no, this is a big moment. That's like big. Yeah, puberty is such a big time, especially in girls' life. Like, yeah, the boys go through whatever they balls drop and they start having wet dreams and stuff. But we are going through such an emotional transition, and the physical transition because we're cramping, we're bleeding, our boobs are sensitive, our bodies are, you know, because, I mean, people talk about the boys getting horny, but we are also gaining these little tingles and stuff like that. I think girls differently. I think they just forget that, you know, girls go through puberty just what boys.
And having that conversation is big because you don't know what to do. You know, how to navigate yourself. What I'm supposed to do with this?
Like, what is happening?
What is going on here? I don't know how my mind is thinking, what my brain is going through. My body is like taking me through the ringer. My boobs hurt, my stomach hurt, my head hurt, my back hurt, and nothing is working. I don't know. I want to cry in the car.
I just hold me. Somebody just hold me.
Somebody give me a hug or stuff. Somebody why didn't nobody warn me?
And then you gotta go back to school. Like, I go back to school.
You have to carry on with life
forever.
I just want to take, like, I think it should be normalized that when a woman is going through her cycle,
she can take off work
for a nice 3 to 5 business days.
Because, men don't understand. Imagine, okay, my job, I'm on my feet 8 hours. Mm-hmm. Imagine you are cramping, your insides are being attacked. Your blood, you feel uncomfortable because blood in your panties.
Not attacked.
Attacked. It is midgets in there at war. Ching, ching. Stab, fight, inside of me. Okay, that is like, it literally feels like you getting stabbed. Yeah. For hours. Like, it's not like a 20-minute cramp. You are cramping all day. Well, at least for me, I cramp at least the first 2 days. All day.
Okay, so with that, I recently started looking up, like, or I've been more in tune with, like, my health and my wellness and, like, eating right and making sure that, you know, eating right. And I realized that, like, your diet definitely correlates with your cycle. Mm-hmm. Like, the length of it, how effective it is, like cramps and how long it could be. And, like, more so not, like, natural remedies for, like, helping you through it rather than taking medications and more like holistic health. But just realizing that if you exercise, if you like eating the right foods, it might not be as bad on your body as if you're not as conscious of it. And I'm not saying like you're not gonna have cramps or they won't be bad, because it definitely can depend on the person as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are in tune with like holistic health and eating correctly and your diet and stuff too, I think that could definitely be helpful.
Yeah. I agree. But I know for myself, like my periods have always been like irregular.
Mm-hmm.
So, because my mom was irregular, and I thought it was like hereditary. So when I would go through my periods, I'm like, okay, me being off was just normal. But as I got older, I had a conversation with my mom. I'm like, well, Mom, when did your period start getting regular? She was like, at 22nd. And I'm like, okay, that's why mine's getting normal.
Right.
And then it's like my cravings change. And then I'm like, well, I'm starting to crave dark pop and candy. She's like, yup, I need a Pepsi and sweets. I'm like, well, girl, you could have been told me the changes.
You could have talked to me about this.
I need to know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do think our parents, or more parents, should talk to their kids or daughters about the changes, because I know for me, my dad was very like, he wasn't afraid to talk to me about anything. Like even my dad was like, if you need pads, you need to let me know. I'm going to go get you some pads.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But he never was afraid to like talk to me about like boys, sex. He talked to me me and my sister for like hours about all that. So both of my parents was kind of like, I want to say like they were less conservative than other parents. That they were more like, look, I know this gonna happen. I know this is what you're about to go through, and I'm just gonna let you know what's going on. So I had a little bit more like wiggle room to like explore like things and stuff like that. But I still wasn't pressed. I wasn't pressed back in the day. So
I think mine was more conservative. Like my dad, he didn't really talk to us like in depth. He would just be like, don't be mannish, because I was mannish. I know how boys are. And like we had purity rings. Like
I remember your purity rings.
Yeah, we had purity rings, and we went to like purity conferences, and honestly, I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing. I think it is. I think it's good, because you're teaching your child like the person that you marry and that you fall in love with, they're going to respect that more. So I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to tell your kids to wait. Definitely, I would love for my kids to wait, because like I said, I think the person might respect it more. But I also think that teaching your kids about it, like sex itself, having a conversation about it, is definitely going to equip them for the real world, because you don't know if your kids is going to wait till marriage. You don't know if they're going to lose it before marriage. Like, just having that conversation with them and being vulnerable with your kids about real life and about real circumstances. Oh, no, definitely not. Just having that conversation with them, I think your kids is going to respect you more, and they'll be more comfortable with
the conversation.
Definitely. Yeah, I think so with me and my girls, I'm definitely gonna talk to. Oh yeah, definitely. Just be, upfront and honest with them about everything, and it's an uncomfortable conversation, but that's what builds like your character. That's what builds you. That's what helps you as a person, like, navigate through life situations. Because if you're not and you don't know, then you're going to be fall.
You're going to fall. Lay face forward.
I don't want them stuffing their panties with tissues.
Listen. And I feel like if I ever had a daughter, I probably would be kind of similar to my mom, because I appreciate how she handled it. I mean, even for all of us, though, like, all of my friends kind of had that, I want to say, like, freedom. Like, when y'all came over my house, I feel like everybody was a little bit, they let their hair down a little more. So I appreciate, like, us having that safe space. I might talk a little bit more if I do have a daughter. Yeah. Because I do wish my mom had more talks with me. But I think my dad, he would talk to me for hours. So my dad definitely did his big one. But he had girls, so he probably was more, like, protective. Like, I want y'all to know what's really going on. Yeah. My mom too, though. I ain't gonna short her either. They both did their thing, but I think I might just be I'll probably be similar to them.
Yeah.
I might end up the same way.
Just be able to talk to them more and like be open and honest.
Right.
Up front.
Because I know what's going to happen. Like, I know that you're going to like boys.
Yeah.
Or you're going to like girls, whatever. It's going to happen. So let's just be real about it.
Right.
But more families should have that conversation with their kids.
Yeah, definitely.
That make it be normalized in our like society. But I think it's a long process. But I think it needs to happen now because of the way the kids are turning in, like where they're going right now.
At the rate you're going, I think just talking to them and being honest with your kids, normalizing the conversation, normalizing talking about not just sex, not just a period, but everything it entails, your hormones, the things that comes with it, the emotions that come with it, relationships. Like talking to them about all of that will help your kid navigate through life, through relationships, through a heartbreak, through if things are gonna work, if things are not gonna work, how to deal with certain people.
I think that's gonna stop a lot of the you know how like a girl loses their virginity to a boy and they go crazy and they hurt forever. And now every dude they come in contact with, they are the trust issues.
Yeah, they got this wall built up and it's trust issues and they can't let their guard down. They can't be their full self. I think all of that definitely goes into it. Oh yeah. So talk to your kids. Talk to your kids, talk to your parents, or talk to someone that has like is a good mentor, or someone that you're able and are comfortable with talking to them about these things. Yeah.
I think it's necessary.
Oh, definitely.
But, you know, and then I think it's good to have talks with other friends, like, how did your first time go? Yeah. Like, sometimes just talking about it, you know, it's good healing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think my first time was hilarious. Like, now, back then it wasn't funny. But now I could be like, that's crazy, my first time like that. Or like, you know, how I was feeling. So I think it's a good conversation to have with other friends. Yeah. Or your parents. If you didn't have that talk with your parents, like talk to them about what happened, what you wish would have happened. How did you feel going through it?
I guess after today I can
right. I can talk like
yeah.
It's
normal. It's normal. It's like it's not gonna go how you want it to go.
Yeah. I think this was a good conversation.
This was a good conversation. Yeah.
And we probably can revisit it later, like maybe have some guests come on, like boys, or not boys, guys.
Or other females and talk to them about how their first time was or how, you know.
Because everybody had their first time. Like, let's be real. Unless you are a walking 30-year-old virgin. God bless you.
Stop. If you are, that's good. That is good for you. It's not funny.
But no, we appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode of She Is Me podcast. Yes. Let us know y'all thoughts, y'all comments.
Give us y'all feedback. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Yes. Make sure y'all add us on Spotify.
Yes. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Subscribe. Make sure y'all watch our videos. Give us y'all feedback, comment, spam us.
All that.
Yeah. Until next time.
See ya.